Hi everyone, it's Mo from Mo Goes, and I'm back for part 2 from my cruise on the MSC Seashore. For a quick recap of part 1, I covered our scheduled excursions from day 2 and 3 of the cruise. In part 2, we'll explore the ship, highlight some interesting things I noticed, and compare this cruise to past cruises on other cruise lines. Let's kick off part 2 with the ship tour. This is called the atrium. The atrium is considered the heart of the ship, and it's the first thing you see upon embarkation if you're entering midship. It's one of the ship's main hubs of activity, and it's flanked by these beautiful staircases called the crystal staircase. And believe it or not, these crystals are the real deal. These are actual Swarovski crystals, and there are thousands of them in these stairs. On deck 6 of the atrium, you'll find the MSC excursions desk where you can get information on excursions and tours. There is no shortage of bars on the ship. Believe me, they're everywhere. There's a really large one in the atrium, and this one stayed busy pretty much the entire cruise. And just behind and above that bar is a stage that extends 3 levels. In addition to bars, you'll find plenty of areas to lounge around in. Located on deck 8 is a wine lover's dream. The wine cellar is considered a premium dining experience. Enjoy a walk-through wine cellar with a great selection of wines and a very elegant and upscale atmosphere. Keep in mind, reservations may be required. If sipping wine in a wine cellar isn't your thing, then you may want to consider the sports bar for something more casual and laid back. I can't really speak on experience and service at the sports bar because we only did a quick walkthrough, but I can confirm that they have very nice seating areas with large TVs that would make it really comfortable and nice to sit and just watch a game and hang out. The MSC Seashore knows how to stack activities and entertainment. There is so much to do here. If you're one of those who likes to keep up with the activity schedule on your cruise, then trust me, you're going to get your money's worth.
Don't let me be alone. Stay about my blue, blue eyes, red, red wine. Stay close to me. Don't let me be alone. All right.
For those traditional theater-type performances, you definitely want to check out the Madison Theater. This is the main venue for theater performances, and it's located on deck 7. Shows occur nightly, but remember, you must make reservations, and you can do that easily on the MSC app.
You have all you dreamed of, and I wish you joy and happy days. But above all this, I wish you
You can't talk about cruise entertainment without mentioning the casino, of course, right? This casino is large. It has 182 slot machines and 12 tables. I didn't go in, I'm not a gambler, but it's a really popular casino. Even though I love to do specialty dining on cruises, I didn't do it for this particular cruise, but keep in mind that MSC does offer some amazing specialty dining packages, including the Kaito Teppanyaki restaurant featuring Japanese cuisine and Tribeca restaurant inspired by New York City. Don't ask how we managed to overlook Hola Tacos and Cantina. I have no idea. We've heard this place is amazing. I have no idea how good it is. I can only go by the reviews, but you may want to check it out. I don't know about you, but every time I cruise, especially on a large ship, we have a hard time figuring out left to right, front to back, and eventually we got it. Of course, it's always near the end of the cruise, but I think most people have that issue on cruise ships. Let's head back to the cabin for a quick cabin tour. We booked cabin 9105, which is a standard balcony cabin on deck 9. The layout, I think, is pretty typical of most cruise lines. Keep in mind, I've only cruised with 2 other cruise lines, so I only have that as a reference, but they're all pretty similar. What's different and stands out the most to me is the fact that this ship is new. It's only 3 years old, so all the fixtures, everything is new, modern, and fresh. I have to point out this one thing about the cabin that I didn't like. In order to keep the lights on, you have to keep the key card inside of the slot at the door. So if you're one that likes to keep your card on your person, that might be an issue because none of the lights will work unless that key card is in the slot. And here we have a standard fridge. We found all these little drinks and mini liquor bottles inside. I have no idea if this was intended for guests and we have to pay for them. I don't know, but we didn't touch them. I usually count all the outlets and USB ports in the room, but I didn't this time. But if I remember correctly, there are 4 standard outlets and 4 USB ports, and there's 1 outlet in the bathroom. There's a sofa bed. We never had to open this up because it was just 2 of us. There's decent closet space, lots of shelving that I really liked. We were able to unpack and stow our clothes away with no issues. We actually had a good amount of storage space left over after we unpacked, so that's great. The only tricky issue that I found with the closet space is that if you have long garments to hang, they can't hang freely because if you have your luggage stowed on the shelf, it gets in the way. Now this feature I fell in love with. I love this oversized wall-mounted mirror. This is perfect when you want to be able to see your entire outfit. The only issue is that because it's so close to the bed, it's hard to get a perspective far enough back to really appreciate what you have on, but it's better than nothing. The bed is a queen size bed, very comfortable for 2 people, and I love that it's right next to the balcony door. Speaking of the balcony, let's go out and take a deep dive into this balcony situation. This is a pretty standard balcony. You have 2 lounge chairs and 1 small table. I love that the wall is see-through. I've been on a ship, I believe it's the Adventure of the Seas, where the wall is actually solid and you can't see through it. You have to actually go onto the balcony and look over in order to see everything. From the footage, you would think this is a pretty straightforward, unobstructed view from your cabin balcony, right? Take a closer look, 1 level down. This is deck 8. Deck 8 is the promenade, and this is a public common area. These wide open views are the main reason we always book balconies on cruises. This is the view that we want to have from the comfort and confines of our cabin. We don't have to go outside to the public common areas to see these views. It's peaceful, it's quiet, it's calm, and it's just you, the sky, and the ocean. I can spend hours on my balcony just relaxing, sleeping, and reading. I've done it before, but this is what we experienced on the balcony of the MSC Seashore. Believe it or not, that was one of the quiet days. It's really loud. You have the jacuzzi right below. You're looking at people being really loud in the jacuzzi, and I don't want to see that. Not only can I see down onto the promenade, but people on the promenade can see directly into our balcony. 2 thumbs down for balconies on the MSC Seashore. Same for the destination elevators. They only seem to be helpful early in the morning between 5 and 8 a.m. Other than that, they're always packed and they never show up. Another striking difference between the MSC Seashore and other ships from Royal Caribbean and even Carnival is that there's no grand promenade. That was a little odd for me. I'm used to a really large grand area with all the shopping, all the restaurants in one area up and down the length of the boat, but this ship is set up very differently. It's very compartmentalized, and it seems as if they have it set up to where there's many little atriums throughout the ship. I think it made it harder for us to figure out what was left, what was right, north, south. It was just really hard to navigate the ship and figure out where everything is the way it was laid out. I prefer the layout of Royal Caribbean ships, and that's what I'm used to. So this was very new. It was pretty difficult for us to navigate, like I said, but what made up for all the confusion was that everything you saw was like eye candy. It's a beautifully designed ship, and it was enjoyable exploring the ship and seeing all the lights, the designs. It's just a beautiful ship. There's an entire section of the ship dedicated to all your digital photos and photo packages. So if you purchased one of them, you can, near the end of the cruise, you can go to this area and find your photos and pick the pictures that you want based on the package that you select. There's also a section where you can buy camera supplies like GoPros, tripods, and memory cards if you need them. The MSC Seashore has 6 swimming pools. We only saw 3 of them, one of which is the Jungle Pool Lounge. This was actually the first pool that we ran into on embarkation day because of its proximity to the marketplace buffet. This pool stays very warm and very busy. On embarkation day, it was really cold, but this area had to be about 84, 85 degrees. It was packed, and this is probably one of the most popular pools on the ship. There's a bar as well as a large lounge area. The second pool that we got to explore is up on deck 18, and it's called the Long Island Pool. This pool gets full sun exposure, so if you're a sunbather, this is the place to be. Just like all the other pools on board, there is a poolside bar as well as lots of lounge seating. Behind the Jumbotron is a staircase that leads you down to another popular bar called the Sky Bar. I love the upper decks of cruise ships because most of them you'll find the most stunning unobstructed views here. This little alcove area has the perfect bird's eye view of the Bridge of Sighs. This glass infinity bridge is located on deck 16 and it overlooks the infinity pool way down on deck 8. Let's go down and take a closer look. This is definitely not for the squeamish, and I can't believe I did this. If you're looking for a thrill that's a little less high risk, you may want to consider going down to deck 8 and trying out the Infinity Bridge. It's pretty much the same thing, it's just not as high up. It was still a little scary, but way less intense than the Bridge of Sighs. Let's head back across the Long Island pool area toward midship. Up the stairs, you'll notice a large winding water slide that leads you right into a play area called the Pirates Cove. And believe me, this was a hit for families. It's built in a galleon style design. It has an adventure trail. Like you saw earlier, there are water slides connected to it. There's a water cannon, and it's just tons of fun. There are lots of benefits to being an MSC Yacht Club member. If you're a member, then you have access to this beautiful area of the ship. It's called the Top 19 Exclusive Solarium. It's a secluded sun deck area on the MSC Seashore, and it's only accessible to members of the MSC Yacht Club. And the third pool that we got to explore on this cruise is the Infinity Pool. It's located on deck 8 at the aft of the ship. There's a beautiful catwalk that goes across the pool where you can get the most gorgeous pictures and video footage. Let's talk about the main dining room. We were assigned a 5:30 dinner time, and we opted to have dinner in the main dining room every night of the cruise. Most dining rooms on cruises are designed very fancy, and this one's no different. Our table seated 8, but luckily no one else showed up the entire cruise, so we had the table to ourselves. One thing that I noticed immediately was that even though there were 2 of us, we were only given 1 menu to share. I've cruised on 2 other cruise lines, and with each one, every member of the party had their own individual menu. So I'm not sure if that's just an MSC thing, but I thought it was odd. Each night, the menu was 3 courses, appetizer, entree, and dessert. We always skipped dessert because we had dessert elsewhere on the ship. On night 1, for the appetizer, I had the French onion soup and Jay had shrimp cocktail. For the main course, Jay had the salmon and I had Indian food. On night 2, we had a Caribbean-themed dinner menu. There were some really great options for all 3 courses, but once again, we only ordered an appetizer and the main entree. For the appetizer, I ordered the callaloo, and it was delicious. Jay ordered the coconut shrimp, and it was really good as well. For the main entree, we ordered the jerk pork loin and a coconut milk-based vegetarian dish. Both entrees were excellent. Since MSC is an Italian cruise line, of course we're going to have Italian night. So night 3 was an Italian-themed menu. For appetizers, we had the shrimp cocktail and the fried calamari. For the entree, we kept it simple and we both ordered the grilled salmon. Overall, the dining room gets a 7 out of 10. Now we're going to get into the Marketplace Buffet Restaurant. This is a very busy, very popular place to eat. A lot of people skip specialty dining and solely eat here. This entrance is from the elevator, but it's not the only entrance. There are so many entrances into the Marketplace Buffet, and because there's so many different elevators, it's hard to figure out what door you're coming in. Hand washing stations are there, but it's not mandatory. The stations are not manned by any crew, so it's not like on Royal Caribbean and Carnival where you have washy parties and everyone is hand washing. It doesn't happen. People just freely walk in and out without washing their hands. Some do, but for me, I have a major issue with that. At a buffet where everyone has to share the same serving spoon, I take comfort in knowing at least you did wash your hands on the way in. So the fact that the MSC Seashore does not mandate washing your hands prior to entry into the buffet, that's a major red flag and 2 thumbs down for me. Now let's get into the food. I think there were lots of options for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I saw a lot of familiar things. I saw a lot of things that were new to me. I am pretty adventurous when it comes to food, so I tried some new things and I liked them, but overall I think the quality was not as good as I expected it to be. I don't know if it had anything to do with being a shorter cruise, but I've been on longer cruises on other cruise lines and the food was top-notch every single day. It was really hit or miss and there was no consistency. I expected to see the same options for breakfast every day of the cruise, and every day there was something different. I would say the same for lunch and dinner, and honestly, I can't speak on dinner because we never ate dinner in the buffet. We always had dinner in the main dining room, but for breakfast and lunch, it was pretty much always hit or miss. One thing that I think MSC Seashore hits it out of the park with is the family and kids buffet area. They have a dedicated buffet line where it's kid level and it's very easy for kids to pick and choose what they want to eat. So overall, I think the Marketplace buffet was just okay for me. I've heard reviews that rave about the food, but I don't know what ship they were on. I didn't get that on the MSC Seashore, but this is what we had. Breakfast, lunch. We had a few plates, and I don't know. It was just okay. This segment is for the chocolate lovers. If you want the most delicious, the most delectable chocolate treats, coffee, candies, gelato that you've ever tasted, you need to head to Deck 6, midship to Venchi Chocolate Bar. You could literally smell all the chocolate goodness like 100 feet away as you walk down the corridor towards the bar before it came into view. They have a great selection of all kinds of things, including chocolate candies, chocolate bars, gelato, coffee, and cocktails. This is one of the first places that we discovered while exploring the ship on the first day, so we decided to try a cocktail and some gelato. I ordered the bourbon ball while Jay ordered the chocolate margarita. I was surprised that both drinks were served with a spoon, but you know what that means. There's a lot of chocolate goodness at the bottom of that glass. Next, we tried the gelato, and we both had the cremino flavor, which is hazelnut. I love hazelnut, and oh my goodness, this is so good. It's one of those flavors that's so good, it will make you never want to try any other flavor again. On night 2, we came back for more gelato. In night 3, we had another cocktail and gelato. The chocolate martini was even better than the bourbon ball. I highly recommend it. Venchi Chocolate Bar is a must try. Chocolate lovers can rejoice because there's more Venchi gelato to enjoy on Deck 8, and you'll find it right across from the infinity pool. Now let's get into how I rated my cruise on the MSC Seashore. Overall, I give it a 6.5 out of 10. First, let's go over the pros. It's a new ship, it's only 3 years old, so it's beautiful, very modern, very aesthetic. Check-in was super fast and easy on embarkation day. There are tons of activities and entertainment to keep you busy, and there are lots of dining options, specialty dining and complimentary. Sadly and surprisingly, there were way more cons than pros. First was the Marketplace buffet food. It was not that good to me. Second was the balcony view. I hated being right above the Deck 8 promenade. There was no privacy and it was way too noisy. The app was pretty glitchy. I don't think it was very user-friendly, and the destination elevator system, atrocious. I didn't like that there was no mandatory washi-washi at the hand-washing stations in the buffet, and there is a major issue with bottled water purchases. You can only purchase 4 bottles of water at a time, and I thought that was crazy. Well, that's it for my cruise on the MSC Seashore. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it was enjoyable and informative. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share for more cruise and travel content. And until the next one, see ya.